show you one of my best tricks with a sword. Or how to quickly send the bastard who's against you to the devil. But it can only be done with a sword. And what's more, you can't have a shield in your other hand.
That sounds good. Teach me that.
Of course. I knew immediately that would lure you in. The main thing is to attack from above. To quickly catch the opponent's wrist and push the edge of your own sword over his blade, so it's under his neck. If you do it right, I reckon I don't have to tell you what comes next, do I? And now, come and try it a few times. Good.
At your service, sir. What will it be, sir?
Show me your wares. Let's talk about the price.
Well, I suppose we can try. Aye, that'll do. I'm glad you found what you were looking for, sir.
I'd like to learn from a master.
You got that wine for me?
All right. Here you go.
Ready. What is it you want, then?
I need to get better at defending myself with a polearm.
That weapon's not worth shite. Well, except in a few cases when it's saved my skin. All right, then. I'll show you a few devilish tricks.
I'd like to learn from a master.
You got that wine for me?
All right. Here you go.
Good lad. Now, what do you want to know?
You can ride a horse as well as a hay wagon, I expect.
You snot-nosed brat! You're the one that shakes like a whore in the saddle. All right, then. I'll show you a few devilish tricks.
I wish you a pleasant evening.
What would you like?
Can I ask you something?
Of course. What about?
So the whole inn belongs to you?
Aye. This entire humble abode belongs to me. From the cellar to the shingles.
It must have cost a pile of coin, eh?
Well, I worked my arse off for it.
But not honestly, I reckon, eh?
I honestly work my arse off, but you know how it is. Sometimes you have to make your own luck.
What's new around here, innkeeper?
A couple of odd blokes settled down here recently. They don't talk to no one much, but from what I've heard, they've got problems.
Who are they?
I didn't ask, but surely not the noble sort. One of them's called Pasha, I think. Not sure about the other. Try and talk to him. Maybe they could use some help.
I'll give it a try.
And that's about it.
Sounds interesting. Thank you, innkeeper.
Excuse me?
What do you make of this Brabant fellow?
He's unquestionably a remarkable knight, that Vakelin. He rambles on a lot, though. My head nearly burst listening to him sometimes, although it was better than being stuck there alone. Otherwise, he seems to me like a bold and worldly gentleman, if a little obsessed with wealth.
I honestly can't stand him. He's as full of tales as an old fishwife, and half of them sound very unlikely indeed.
No one's perfect. As for his constant chatter, you have to learn how to shut him up, and ideally not get locked up in one room with him. On the other hand, when Sigismund invaded, he could have easily just stepped aside and kept his nose out of it, and he'd still be sitting pretty in Miskovit. Instead, he did the opposite and defended the town. Give him a chance to prove himself. You'll see for yourself.
I'll believe it when I see it. What happened when von Bergov hauled you off after the Nabokov battle?
It was a dreadful journey. Jesus, don't even remind me. It was a bit better in Malashov. Apart from being locked up, of course.
Did anything happen along the way?
No, but it took ages to get to Malashov. 4 or 5 days in that god-awful cart. I was travelling with von Owlet's minions. They hauled me in one of the wagons. They treated my wounds a bit, but I was still in a really bad way. After that battle and all.
What did they do with you in Malashov?
Nothing much, actually. They took care of my wounds, and then stuck me in a room with Brabant. But they treated me decently, as befits a noble. Von Bergov came asking questions a couple of times, but that was about it. Only I almost went mad from being cramped in that damned room. It's a good thing you got me out of there.
What was the problem with the room?
That I couldn't get out of there. You saw yourself when you came for me, didn't you? It's just that since Nabokov, when they shot the tower right down on my head and I was stuck there. Well, since then, I don't feel well in cramped spaces. Actually, I never did. I always preferred to be outdoors. But since Nabokov, it's worse than ever. I had a feeling the roof would fall on my head again and I'd be buried alive.
They didn't let you out at all? But you were in that room for ages.
No. They let us walk around the fortress a bit. We even went out for a ride twice, but they watched us like hawks. Not a chance of escape. But most of the time we were in that room. Like I say, I'm really glad you got me out of that hole.
What did von Burgov want from you?
Just the usual courtesies. The captivity of nobles has to observe certain formalities, you know? It's not like they could just throw you in some hole. They behaved fairly respectfully, but of course he was fishing for information. About Radzig and Hanush and especially Jobst. What they're planning, how many men they have on the field, who else they're negotiating with and that.
And what did you tell him?
Nothing that he didn't already know. I played as dumb as the village idiot. I only told him they sent us with that message and discussed the rest when we were gone.
And did he swallow it?
I think he suspected I was bluffing a bit, and then he tried to loosen my tongue by letting me go hungry for a while. But he soon gave up when he saw he was getting nothing more from me.
My word. Nice work keeping him at bay. I understand. It's a bit awkward for you that the nobility lives in castles.
That's a fact. Once I get my hands on my estates, I'll build a new castle that only has huge rooms and lots of spacious courtyards. And above all, no secret passages.
Great. I'm really looking forward to this new castle of yours.
You can be the castellan or something. Don't worry, I won't forget you. I'll even have a forge built so you feel right at home.
But the main thing is, you're alive and kicking. And back with us.
Indeed.
How'd you like Devil's Den?
Well, it's better than the Malashov prison, but not much.
Aren't the beds soft enough for his lordship?
I'm more bothered by how small the place is. You feel like the walls are closing in on you. But at least I can go for rides around the area.
Where'd you go for those rides?
Well, not very far, just from... Oh, damn. What's the place called? Horshan? Aye. From Horshan to Bohuniewicz and back. Why go to the ends of the earth when there's so much to see here? I found a nice hunter's camp in the forest beyond Bohuniewicz. It's not exactly close, but it's quiet at least.
Oh, Christ almighty. You haven't started poaching again, have you?
You could say that. This girl from Bohuniewicz took me for a lovely... ride?
Oh, that's enough. Spare me the details.
May God give...
Tell me something about yourself. We barely know each other.
No cóż, nie znamy się, ale przeszkadza ci to?
What? Speak slower. I can't understand you at all.
A co mnie to obchodzi? Wiesz co? Jak chcesz ze mną pogadać, to przynieś mi beczkę piwa i 100 ziędziewów. Jak już to razem wypijemy i się zabawimy, to dogadamy się bez problemu.
I'd like to get better with a saber. Do you have any advice for me?
Tylko jedną, przyjacielu. Tnij tak szybko, żeby wróg nie zdążył zrobić uniku. I staraj się stać trochę bokiem, żeby nie dało się łatwo w ciebie trafić. Ale przede wszystkim nigdy nie zaczynaj ze mną, bo zrobię z ciebie ścieczkę.
Well, thanks then. Even if I don't know what for. How is it that women throw themselves at you?
To dar od Boga, Henryku. A może to dlatego, że mam takiego dużego kutasa. Ale mam dla ciebie jedną radę. Jak już zbałamucisz jakąś niewiastę, to spróbuj sprawić jej przyjemność swoimi ustami. Będzie cię bolał język, ale zobaczysz, jaka ona będzie zadowolona.
Well, I didn't understand a single word, but I'll take it to heart. I bring bad news from Kuttenberg. Eric's soldiers and the town rabble have torched the Jewish quarter. Fortunately, we saved most of the people. But I doubt they can form an alliance with us now.
Fuck. Where are they now?
Samuel and the rabbi took those who survived to Colleen.
Shit. We have to find Dry Devil and Capon and decide what to do next.
Samuel said to wait for him. He wants to be here when we discuss our plans.
But if he's gone to Colin, he won't be back till tomorrow, will he? Oh well. In the meantime, you can at least have a look for the men Dry Devil mentioned. Adam, Matouche, and the others.
I'll bring them. Count on me.
Hold on. There's something I need to clear up with you. I sent Catherine to spy on Sigismund's camp. But I hear the two of you are trying to solve some murders in Kuttenberg. Should I tell her to go back to the city? Or are you going to drop the murder investigation?
Those poor girls deserve justice. But I'm definitely going to need Catherine's help in the city.
All right, but make it quick.
What will you do now?
We'll give it some thought and see. Hopefully we'll know better when you come back from Liechtenstein.
Just a moment. Greetings to you two.
Who is this Kubyanka, anyway? How long have you known each other?
We were defending a castle and hiding in the woods together. But he was always closer with the devil.
Can he be trusted?
Aye. When he's sober, that is. When he gets drunk, it's better to keep an eye on him. He's known to provoke until fists start flying. Did you see what happened when we first arrived?
You mean how they wanted to cut his throat for cheating at dice?
Aye. It's best not to play with him. You'd be better off tossing your coins straight into a pile of shit.
Aren't you worried about Catherine?
Do you think I should be?
I don't know. A lone woman in a big city needs to be careful in any case. But when you're stalking Liechtenstein, that can be really dangerous.
No one forced Catherine. She knows what she's doing and she can take care of herself. Remember how she dealt with the guards at Trotsky? She's braver and more dangerous than half my old band.
Aye, but what if someone tries to...
Catherine sharpens her dagger every day. It's always razor sharp. Whoever tries will regret it sorely.
What should I know about the devil?
Just look at him and you'll know everything. His face reveals it all.
I heard he's a nobleman, but he doesn't look like it.
He's the captain of Znojmo, but it's true that he doesn't care much for noble manners. He has a foul mouth, and he's anything but chivalrous in a fight.
I suppose he's not a pure, kind soul like you, eh?
Certainly not. He's as twisted as a hangman's noose. He can also be bitter and angry as a rabid dog. It's certainly better not to fuck around with him.
What draws you to him, then?
We're both different. That's our strength. I'm in charge when everything goes according to plan. When things go to shit, he takes over. It often turns bloody, but sometimes victory is more important than honor.
I really do hear it. I have just been standing. Billy goes. You can tell nanny ghosts from billy ghosts by the sound they make.
I'd like to learn something.
It will take some time, and a few groschen, mon ami. Acquiring my art came at great cost, so I cannot pass it on for free. Especially now, when I have been injustly stripped of my possessions, and I must rely only on my sharp wits. Ainsi va le destin. So, what would you like to know?
I want to know how French knights wield a sword.
Eh bien, you, les Bohemians, you fight like lions, just like the Germans. It's all brute force and frenzied roaring. The French chevaliers are like stags, agile and majestic, but nonetheless effective